What's up, everyone? Alex here, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. I wanted to talk about how all the different aspects of my identity are interconnected, how different things overlap, and what happens in those little overlaps. So I've talked a lot about pieces of me. That was a mini-series. I don't know why I was doing mini-series and having so much structure like that. Felt kind of weird to do the Monday mini-series back in the day. It's all identity talk. All the videos talking about my identity go in the identity talk playlist. So I don't know why I kept splitting it into all these different mini series of videos. I don't know. Didn't work that well, but I did talk about all the different gendered pieces that come together to make up my identity. I talked about different layers of my identity, specifically layers of my genderedness, which incorporated like presentation as an outward layer of my identity. Obviously, I have a different view on that nowadays because my views about my own gender are ever changing, aging and maturing, more like. I'm finding more sophisticated and less binary and less conventional ways of describing my gender. But that's kind of getting off topic. So I wanted to talk about how all the different aspects of my identity are interconnected. In my head, it kind of gets split in two a little bit. I have like the one side where I have gender and plurality and experiences with being otherkin, and those overlap with each other. And the other side, I have my autistic experiences and my experiences with orientation, which I know sounds weird, but those two things intersect. My orientation doesn't really, I guess it kind of intersects with my gender because I have a preference for men and non-binary people and like people who have a similar gender experience to my own, so I just call myself gay. That's for another, that's for an entirely other video if I feel like doing it, but I have my gender in general, and that overlaps with my plurality, and in the overlap, I would say that probably affects how I present myself, how my gender expression in general is. I do make a distinction between gender expression and gender presentation. Presentation is typically a physical outward appearance, whereas expression also encompasses labels that I might use and pronouns that I use and like other less physical things about myself. And my plurality absolutely overlaps with my otherkin identity. And where those two overlap, I would say kind of affects my views about myself as like a person. My views about my personhood, very complicated, like weird body dysmorphia and weird just, what would you call it? Difficulties expressing myself as a person or viewing myself as a person because of how plurality and otherkinity overlap. The otherkin identity does not overlap with my gender. It's more like a chain. Gender overlapping with plurality, overlapping with otherkin, just kind of in a straight line. Just a chain of experiences. And then I have my autistic identity, where I think it more so affects the way that I interact with other people. It does affect a little bit the way that I see myself and my personhood. So there could be some overlap between the plurality and my otherkin identity. But there is definitely an overlap with my orientation. So another form of just social connection, I would say, is the similarity between autism and orientation. And where that overlap happens, that's typically my struggle with talking about attraction and talking about orientation in a way that makes sense in my brain. I've always avoided talking about attraction. I kind of dabbled in it before, like questioning and looking at hyper-specific orientation labels, and then I realized that calling myself gay is a lot easier than trying to go into all the, like, what am I romantically attracted to? What am I sexually attracted to? Is there a split attraction model for me? And where am I lacking attraction? I lack platonic attraction. I guess I would technically be aplatonic, but it could be because of autism brain that I identify as such. Like, friendships, platonic relationships just don't, it doesn't fit in my brain. I have a hard time quantifying friendships or knowing what a friendship is like, I guess. So that's probably where being autistic would overlap with orientation. And that's pretty much it. Pretty much just a series of chains, not necessarily everything overlapping everything, and then somewhere all of it overlaps at once into one idea. It's more like multiple categories of my identity that overlap in different ways and create these nuances in my identity and in the ways that I use labels to identify not just my gender, but my orientation and my experiences with other aspects of identity, being otherkin, being plural, things like that. That's pretty much it. I have a pen. It's my baton, I guess. I'm orchestrating. That's because I have a notebook in front of me so that I can check off what I've already recorded. Busy day of nothing but recording, and then I'm going to have a busy day of nothing but editing and making thumbnails. So that's just how this month is going to go. But yeah, how are all of the pieces of your identity interconnected? Like, is there interconnection? Do you feel it's more split? There's more of a clean divide between these different aspects, or is there just a muddy, blurry overlap between everything? Like, let me know. I would love to hear some people's experiences. But yeah, anyway, I am signing off for now. See you later.